As a scientist, I don't believe in a question without a rational answer. Bioluminescence is the chemical process by which life can emit visible light.
Ben has just taken the biggest soil sample of his entire career as a geologist.
The geologist fights back. Take this, Earth.
Essentially, a rogue planet is a planet that was originally in a different star system, and it was kicked out and is now wandering the cosmos, divorced from its parent star. They're developing technology that might help save astronauts later, a way to actually bail out of a failing spacecraft and survive it. There it is! Oh, sweet! You're actually watching something cross all the way through the atmosphere and actually leave Earth right there. The hidden part of this, of course, is if you're warping space, Einstein showed us you're also warping time. So the flip side of NASA's current warp drive research is that it's also time machine research. So by banking the plane and turning, it's gonna squish me down into the seat and basically replicate what you would feel when a rocket kicks on and you start heading out to space. Extremophiles. Life that loves that kind of environment.
Like us.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like us. And this life is so strange, it lives on the fringe so much that NASA scientists actually come down here to this place and places like it for examples of what alien life might look like on another world. Fortunately, at low levels, we've got repair mechanisms because we're adapted to gamma rays. They're all around us. Our own sun is a giant gravity-driven thermonuclear fusion reactor, and we're getting radiation from that in addition to all the other stars. Every pinprick of light in the night sky is another nuclear reactor, essentially. The longest golf drive in human history actually went more than a mile. Well, does that not sound believable? It is if you take the atmosphere completely out of the equation. That drive was done by Apollo astronaut Alan Shepard on Apollo 14 on the moon.
Miles and miles and miles.
Well, here, the lowest golf course on this planet, you can consider that the complete opposite environment. At 214 feet below sea level, you have the most atmosphere sitting on top of you and getting in the way of your ball. So even on your best day, with your best drive, down here, the ball wouldn't go as far. 25 feet.
He's brought a few tools of science to help get to the bottom of this very strange place.
Presuming what Clifford Stone's saying is true, there's got to be evidence left from any of these recovery operations, either of the impact itself of whatever it was, or of the operation itself, which was extensive. That runway number tells you what direction it's facing. In 0 to 360 degrees, you add a 0, so 35 becomes 350. We're finally going to figure out what's causing the readings. One of the most mysterious aspects of this scenario is the fact that the fire underneath Centralia is burning so far underground. It's hard to know what's actually going on down there. So how do you investigate that? How could you? You have to go underground. Recent Freedom of Information Act requests have revealed that the Air Force made it quite a bit farther than I think people understand in developing the Orion program. The idea went so far as to undergo practical tests at the Nevada test site. They used conventional explosives to take a model and prove the system would work, and it did.
Watch it, it's moving. Don't touch
don't
it.
touch it.
That's unusual, guys.
We're looking at a Chinese lantern. Over.
Oh, you're kidding me. I've honestly never seen anything like this before. It's f***ing crazy.
I think the last time I saw a Chinese lantern was in Karate Kid 2. What I found was pretty dramatic. This corner is the lowest corner of the house. Here's the entrance, and the adjacent corner is actually 4 feet higher than where you started. The long corner back here, this was almost 8 feet taller than where you started, and caddy corner, the farthest point away, this was nearly 12 feet higher than where you started. What does this mean? This means that it's not mysterious forces that are keeping people and other things at strange angles in there. It's the fact that this house is essentially tilted on its side. So for my analysis, all I did was I plotted the locations of the oil wells and I sort of tilted them on angle so you view them on the horizon, and I looked at what pattern those dots would make when looked at from a distance. And as it turns out, they match what the Mexican military shot amazingly well. Plastics, foams, insulation, fiberglass, that's all delivered into the ocean ecosystem. We have no idea what the long-range effects of that are going to be. When a nuclear bomb goes off, you produce a lot of very energetic radioactive material, and that's sucked up in the fireball along with a bunch of dirt. And if it gets high enough, it gets carried downrange by the wind and literally sprinkles out of the air, falls out. This mushroom cloud is being propelled by so much heat that's been generated. It can move higher through the atmosphere than anything we've ever seen like it before. We're talking 40, 50, 60 higher miles into the sky to the edge of space. A solar power system for a super eruption is a catch-22 because at the same time it'll extend your ability to survive more comfortably in the disaster. You also need to come outside to wipe it off. So you need to have a way to deal with that. That if we had fair warning, say a couple of years before the impact of a rogue planet that looked like it was going to be likely, I could definitely see a scenario where you have a very big push, humanity's last gasp, to create a very large spacecraft. The Mayflower of the stars. Take it. There's always a way to survive. I don't believe in a no-win scenario. Manufacturing and assembling the signs is only part of the story. After that, you have to install them. And then if something goes wrong, you have to maintain them. What does that mean? It means you have to go where the signs are. And in Las Vegas, that usually means you are way up in the air. Water. This thing still works.
Watch the light bulb.
Yes, this is awesome. What a little inspiration and know-how can do.
And a few $1 million.
Is that in 1920s dollars? Or?
Yes.
And now everything's a little more familiar. I can keep my foot on the gas nearly the whole time. I'm chasing down other cars in front of me. I'm really getting excited. This is a good time.
Beautiful. Full throttle. Keep going, keep going. That was a